Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 5th, and this is the O'Rourke Report. Now, I anticipate this is going to be a short report today. I am just back from lunch with the ladies, and I had myself a cappuccino, so I'm feeling a little wired. But I do have a couple of things that I do want to report on. I did watch the Married to Medicine, the first part of their reunion last night. And frankly, it was as I've mentioned before, this is a cast that does everything they can to resolve issues. There is screaming. I mean, what Bravo housewife type show is not going to have the screaming and the entitled behavior, the inconsideration for other people. They had a lot of that, but they also had their usual modus operandi, which is they actually take steps to resolve their issue. They actually, apologize in a genuine way. So that was kind of the gist of the first of three reunion episodes. So frankly, I honestly don't know what they're going to be doing for episodes 2 and 3 because one was the same old, same old. The one thing I do want to mention as an offshoot here, as a Phaedra Parks, who famously was Real Housewives of Atlanta, is on the Marriage and Medicine cast because she was dating a doctor at one time. She no longer is. But I bring up Phaedra to just say, if you are not watching The Traitors, this is season 2 of The Traitors, which you can get on Peacock. Phaedra is on season 2 and she is tearing it up. She is the charming, adorable Phaedra Parks that we know and love. And she is one of a whole raft of reality stars you might be familiar with. Personally, I always watch Big Brother. I watch Survivor. I sometimes watch The Bachelor, but not really. The Challenge, I've watched forever. So you've got Johnny Bananas, you have CT from The Challenge, you've got a whole bunch of survivors like Sandra, one of my absolute favorites. Poverty, one or two other ones. Big Brother, the legendary Dan Giesling on there. And then from the Bravo universe, you've got Larsa Pippen and her boyfriend Michael Jordan's son, and you have Tamara Barney, although I think her name is Judge now, Tamara Judge, and a couple of other ones. But it's Phaedra Parks who is stealing the show, and watch it for Phaedra. I think the finale is this Thursday, and they're going to go right from the finale into the reunion. So if you want, binge it over the next couple of days and be ready for Thursday because it's really, really entertaining this year. So highly recommend The Traitors on Peacock. If you're a reality television fan, one of your favorites is in there, guaranteed, and it's really a lot of fun. Okay, then I watched Potomac, and Potomac, unfortunately, is the same old, same old. The women break into camps, and each camp fights. None of them have any validity to their argument other than to stab the other one. It's kind of like the same old, same old. Uh, and then in the Bravo universe, I do want to speak about the Countess Luann and her indiscriminate spreading of her charms across the nation. Now, apparently, she is becoming known not just for her cabaret excellence, but the fact that she is a voracious cougar who will go after anything at any time and is indiscriminate. I don't think there's anybody that's safe. And of course, we have gotten verification that she did indeed ensnare this Joe Bradley from Southern Hospitality with his girlfriend Danielle from Summer House in the audience. She did stab him and drag him off to a hotel. So, gee, Countess, could you just dial it back a little bit and give yourself a rest because you are a woman of a certain age. So I'm not quite sure why you have the need to do this, but maybe dial it back. That's my recommendation on that. Now, I spoke yesterday about My Big Fat Fabulous Life and its star, Whitney Way Thorn. Thore. And I just happened to think of her today. I was going through Instagram, and she gets paid endorsements, but the only thing I've ever seen her endorse have been sex toys. Now, why she has put herself in this niche, I don't know, but there's no climbing out of that hole, is there? Once you get it, get the rep that that's the type of stuff that you endorse, do you really go any further? I don't know if that was really thought out on her part, but that's what she's doing. And like I said, I thought this is a very, very smart girl. And maybe it's going to mean a million sales, who knows? But I just think she's a little bit better than that. That's just my opinion. I'm sure everybody will hate me for it. And you put the comments, let me know about it. Okay, other thing I want to bring up is I'm so glad yesterday we did get a picture of Princess Kate. I, like many people, in January, when we heard the news that she was not only going to be, out of pocket for a while, but her initial 2 weeks were going to be, hospitalized with a recovery period going into, 2 months past Easter. So the fact that and then I don't know if it was set up or not. It seemed to be a very long telescopic lens that got the picture of her in the car with her mother. But I was very pleased to see her, and I can't wait to see her back because I just think she's fabulous. So good luck, Princess Kate. Glad you're on the mend, and can't wait to see you again. Now, the only other thing I'm going to touch on today is something that I watched from the very beginning, and I think, like many people in America, I think I watched it for it to come to the point that it is at now, which is everything breaking down. So I was fascinated by the Sister Wives, which is, if you don't know the background, you haven't watched it, this is a polygamist family where the husband decided he wanted to normalize polygamy, and he was going to sign on with TLC, and they were going to film the life of a polygamist family, which at the time, which one husband with flowing blonde hair, not unlike Brigham Young, I'm sure, and his 3 wives. And the first season dealt with him bringing in wife number 4, which just led to the ruination of the family. Not that there was anything wrong with wife number 4, it was just one too many. That dam was always going to burst. His famous line in the introductory of the show is, why divide love when you can multiply it? Yeah, it's multiplied for you, kiddo, but it's divided amongst all the women. They have to, they and their children and their households all have to wait 3 or 4 days for daddy to show up and do the honey-do lists and whatever he does. So it was always flawed to begin with. It was always, things are fantastic if you're the guy, although they'll complain, oh, there's nothing worse than trying to keep, your wives separated. Well, try having one wife. That might work out for you. And so anyway, it's been on the air for years, and slowly but surely the cracks developed and the cracks developed to the point now that all of them claim to be monogamous, and all the supposed marriages are broken up except for the one that is a legal marriage, which is, funnily enough, is wife number 4. Somehow she convinced wife number 1, the first one with the certificate, to divorce uh, Cody, the husband, so he could marry number 4, so he could get medical insurance for number 4's kids. Well, gee, how about your 18 other kids? You ever worry about them and their medical insurance? Just saying, little squirrely there. But if you've never watched it, it's fascinating to watch. It's fascinating how he deludes himself and how the women in the beginning are deluding themselves as to whether this is working or not working, to where it is now, where everybody is being brutally honest about why it didn't work and why they're doing what they're doing now. There was an offshoot to that one, and this one was, I always called it the creepiest cast on television, was called Seeking Sister Wives. And they would follow these couples. Sometimes it was just two of them looking for another wife, other times it was three of them looking for another wife, but in all cases, completely creepy. Completely creepy how they convinced themselves that this was the right path to be on, and they're doing the right thing, and they would follow the guy as he was dating their alleged, I call them the victims actually, the one who wants to come into the fold. And God, it was just heartbreaking. I mean, there were some of them that were just heartbreaking. This poor girl was being absolutely bamboozled. And so I noticed they don't show that one anymore. So I think people were super creeped out about that one. But if you ever happen to catch it and you want to analyze and you want to look at people and behavior, Seeking Sister Wives, that is in the same vein as the Sister Wives, flagship polygamous show, and is really a very interesting situation. I really feel like I feel for these women, especially with Sister Wives. All of the women, and I think this also led to the breakup of everything, all the women were financially dependent upon him. I don't even think they had checking accounts, or maybe one or two of them had checking accounts, but they didn't have their own credit cards, they didn't have their own credit ratings, they were completely dependent upon him. So once the TLC program took off, what I think happened is the women, unless everything was piled into an LLC or a single entity where he controlled the money, I think the women got their first taste ever of money. And they also got their first taste of social media in a big way. And I think this so influenced their thinking and their growth. And once they found that they can produce their own money, it was like, gee, why am I putting up with this? And I think that's what led in a big way to their enlightening. One of them is even remarried. She was never legally married to him, although she had, I think, 6 children with him. 5 or 6 children with him, and she was one of my favorites. I always liked her. I thought she was very emotionally honest when she did talk, especially towards the end when she, was unburdening herself with, how hard everything was. But she has since, she left him, she dumped him, he went into shock, he claimed, "You stabbed me in the kidneys." I mean, you should have heard this guy carry on, this Cody. But as she left, she moved back to Utah, which is where she wanted, which is where a lot of her children are. Curious note here, all the children, and I think there are a total of, I think there were 18 adult children, and then they were 4 or 5 under the age of 18, but the adult children, not one of them are polygamous. They're all monogamous. And I know some of those girls were being groomed to be the little brood mares, just like mommy. But that spell is broken, and they are thriving, or appear to be thriving on their own. And of course, the women are finally thriving on their own. So, and one of them actually met a guy and fell in love. So there you go. Happy ending for her. So that's all I have today. Like I said, it was going to be a short day. And what is on tonight? Tonight, I think we have Vanderpump Rules. We have a bunch of other things. So, looking forward to catching up with you tomorrow. And, don't forget, I always feel, and I should have put this at the beginning, please hit the subscribe button and please hit the like button. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It merely will just send you a little notice when a new episode or new content is put up. So thanks again for joining. Hit subscribe, hit like, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.